Win the incredible Steigercraft 21DB Miami, powered by a Yamaha 200, in the ultimate season-long multiple species subscriber-only fishing competition, the Fisherman's 2017 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Go to thefisherman.com and enter today. The fishing news is brought to you by Shoreline Insurance Agency and Okuma.
Hey folks, Fred Golofaro here for this week's Fisherman's video fishing forecast. And once we get rid of this east wind that's been blowing all week, and the weekend's shaping up pretty nice, looks like we're going to have temperatures in the 70s, at least on Saturday. And a lot of good fishing going on. You know, we've been expecting the blues to show up by the last week of the month, and they have not disappointed. Blues, including some slammers to 18 pounds, showed up beginning this past weekend, and the action quickly spread east along the south shore, actually as far east as Moriches. We had reports the last couple of days. Striper fishing continues to build with lots of schoolies in many areas, but the main concentration of the bigger fish is still in Raritan Bay, you know, the edges of Ambrose Channel and around Staten Island, to a lesser degree in Jamaica Bay, but there are some quality fish in Jamaica Bay also. Flounder fishing's far from what it used to be, but if you work at it, you can put a boat limit together in some areas. Don't forget the limit is 2 fish. And places like Jamaica Bay, City Island area in the Western Sound, and Great South Bay have producing some limit catches of flounder. Frank over at Bernie's Bait and Tackle in Sheepshead Bay, he said blues up to 10 pounds. Moved into the bay on Sunday, and he also heard of bluefish taking over in Long Beach. Big bass still best in that Staten Island, Ambrose Channel area. Some in Jamaica Bay, lots of schoolies in Jamaica Bay. Most of the big fish are being trolled on mojos and rock candies, the schoolies on soft plastics, bucktails, and some on poppers too. Some nice fish also off the beach. Felix Marrero, he had a 25-pounder off of Great Kills Park in Staten Island on a chunk, and that was on Tuesday. Rich over at Lindenhurst Bait and Tackle said not a lot of flounder around, but if you work at it, you can catch a limit. Some big ones. He's weighed flounder of 3.46 and 3.18 pounds. Those are big flounder for this part of the island. Most of the flounder catches are coming from Dickinson Channel. Blues also moved into the bay and inlet on the weekend. Look for the birds. Bass to 32 inches inside the bay and inlet on poppers, soft plastics. And a lot of that action is spread along the mainland side of the bay also. Birds working over them, so you might run into bluefish or bass chasing those birds around. Pat Baker, he's a light tackle guide that runs out of Gilgo. He let me know lots of bass in the state channel, catching them on plugs, on poppers, swimming plugs, soft plastics, and bucktails. That's a really nice fishery in there, nice protected water and nice scenery. Generally not a lot of boat traffic around. School bass actions actually spread all the way east to Montauk. Paul at Paulie's Bait and Tackle out in Montauk, he reported lots of schoolies at Ditch Plains. They're being taken on half-ounce bucktails and 4 to 5 inch swim shads. Ken over at Tight Lines, he had one customer report beaching at least 3 dozen stripers, schoolies. That was along Bridgehampton, but we're getting reports of fish scattered, you know, along the ocean beaches all the way out to Napeague. Up on the North Shore, lots of bass again, mostly schoolies, but a few bigger fish around. Tony at Jack's Bait and Tackle knew of at least 2 30-pounders taken around the Whitestone Bridge this past weekend. A lot of schoolies around City Island, Eastchester Bay. Pat over at City Island, he named Turtle Cove, Orchard Beach Lagoon, and Glen Island as surrendering lots of schoolfish. He said his guys are using SP minnows, soft plastics, worms, and bunker chunks. Over in Manhasset Bay, Phil Rybecki, he's been taking fish to 14 pounds deep inside the bay. He also reported dropping a real big fish on the weekend. He's been fishing blurple, that's black-purple, floating SP minnows after dark on the outgoing tide. And we can add another target species to the list beginning Monday. Good news for a lot of you sinker bouncers. Porgy season opens up May 1st and runs through the end of the year. Don't forget, there's a 10-inch size limit and a 30-fish bag limit. That bag limit does increase to 45 for party and charter boat anglers from September 1st to October 31st. The best of the porgy fishing is going to be out on the east end, Peconic Bay, Gardiners Bay, and you'll get some of those jumbo porgies out there in May. And don't be surprised if some bluefish, weakfish, fluke, or sea bass butt in on the action out there. Hey, until next week, this is Fred Golofaro for thefisherman.com.
The Fishing News is brought to you by Shoreline Insurance Agency and Okuma. Win the incredible Steigercraft 21DB Miami, powered by a Yamaha 200, in the ultimate season-long multiple-species subscriber-only fishing competition, the Fisherman's 2017 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Go to thefisherman.com and enter today.